clip to show you how you can use a really interesting songwriting prompt and get the most out of it. So this songwriting prompt is when you take a novel and you open it at a random point, write down the line that your finger goes to, then you open it at another random point and you write down the line that your finger goes to, and then you brainstorm based on that and see what you come up with. So I've found a novel that I haven't read and I've done this, and what I got was, then Claire's mood suddenly switched and she smiled at him. And then the second line was, as Cashel drove towards the town, he began to feel both excited and foolish. Now, I can't figure out how to make it not block my face, so sorry about that. But I'm just going to explain what you could do with this. So this is actually some pretty good phrases. You know, there's lots that we can get out of this. We've got two protagonists, and we could decide what their relationship is. We could decide what their historic relationship is, what their relationship is now, what their relationship is going to be. It might be more interesting not to assume a romantic connection. There's also the question of what is each person like. So this phrase has got quite a lot of drama in it already. Claire's mood suddenly switched and she smiled at him. So what did it switch from? If it switched to smiling, that suggests that before she was smiling, she was perhaps agitated, anxious, angry, not calm, obviously not smiling. Stern. What are Claire's physical characteristics? What do we know about her? Is she old? Is she young? Is she his boss? Is he her boss? How are they connected? Are they related? Are they? There's a little bit of tension that we can get just from that first line that's really interesting. Where are they geographically? Are they in the countryside? Are they in the town? Are they in a car? Are they on a train? Are they walking? Who's Cashel? How old is he? What does he look like? What is he into? This line here, as he drove towards the town, he began to feel both excited and foolish. So that's interesting. What could a person feel excited and foolish about? I would say that something which makes us feel excited and foolish is when we hope for something, but we're not sure if it's foolish, if it's silly. So that's actually a really kind of juicy songwriting thing, because the idea that there's something that we hope for, we don't know whether we're foolish to be buying into the idea that it might be possible, is a pretty there's lots that one could say that about. There's lots of things that we might want to achieve. Maybe we've been disappointed before, and is it silly to hope for that thing now? So you can see that what I've done as a first point is ask lots and lots of questions, and there are lots more that I could ask. So the questions are about each individual, what we might imagine them to be like. How is Claire like? If you were drawing Claire, what would she look like? If you were describing her, and same for him. If you had to tell somebody that they needed to find Cashel at the post office, how would they know to recognise him? Would it be that he always wears a tan corduroy blazer and a black polo neck? And so if you ask yourself as many questions as you can about each aspect of these two lines, the setting is one thing, the location, the characteristics of the people as individuals is another thing, and you could do a whole page of description, and the time frame is another thing. What has happened before for each of those people and for both of them, and what does time say about their relationship? So how are they connected? What's the background to their relationship? What's going to happen next? What do both of them want to happen next? What happens in between? So it's the more questions that you ask, the more material you're going to be able to generate. And so what I would do now, if this was me, and I might well go away and do this and post what I come up with as a follow-up, is answer all those questions. So write as much as I can about what Claire might be like and what she looks like. And don't worry if it feels slightly contrived. If you're like, well, it's just 5:20 on a Monday in the UK. I feel a bit silly inventing a Claire. Don't worry about it. It's an imagination sort of stimulating exercise. It's not something that you necessarily need to stand or fall by. And which leads me to a very important point, that not every creativity training activity needs to result in a song for it to have been worthwhile. Just like I did my 15 minutes of mobility stuff in the morning, I don't have super strength as a result of having done that, but I know that that's gonna make me sort of be able to move around freely and do the things I want to do in my life. But so creativity training stuff like this is exercising that creative muscle, even if you don't get a song out of it. However, this is kind of pretty interesting, and we could definitely get a song out of it. So if you would like to have a crack at this, it would be really interesting for you to post your result in the chat and see if you can come up with an idea for a song from it. The other point is that you can get going on something that starts with these start and end points, but you might end up with a different idea. So you might be writing about Claire, you might be writing about Cashel, and then suddenly you have an idea for something else and you start writing about that. That's fine. It all just gets everything going, but sometimes the path to your more deeply felt ideas and the things that you really care about expressing isn't, you can't find that stuff when you just say, okay, so what do I want to write about? Sometimes we've got to have like ways in, and this is a really effective one and one that you can repeat endlessly. So the take a book, connect the dots creativity activity is here. I hope that you enjoy that, and perhaps I'll do a part 2